What is up, everybody? It is Drew, Travel the Burning Abyss here with another video, and today I'm bringing you a really cool deck profile. This is a Orcust Sky Striker deck profile, and I saw, I think it was Berlin Regional, that this deck got top 8. My list is a little different than that, but I will post the picture in just a second. All right, so that's the list that topped. Mine is slightly different. I believe my extra deck has one card that's different. The main deck has a good chunk, and the side deck has a good chunk of different cards in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of dive in and explain a little bit about this deck as we go. Okay, so starting off with the main deck, arguably one of the most important cards in the deck would be 3 Girsu. It's basically another Armageddon Knight / Dark Grepher, which is really good. The card's absolutely nuts. Of course, 3 copies of Harp, because like it's at 3. 2 Orcust Nightmare, 2 Symbol Skeleton, and 1 Wand for all of the Orcust names. That's really all that you need. 1 of our Gizmek Orochi. This card's really crazy. Then 1 Grepher and 1 Knight. I know this is at 2, but we already have Girsus, and like we're not playing a more pure Orcust list. We're playing Sky Striker Orcust, so the second one I didn't feel was as important, so I kind of agreed with the list from the regional that had topped. But this is my variation is like blind second OTK. I don't know what that person's list was supposed to do, whether they're going first or second, but mine is like exclusively blind second OTK. Moving on to the spells though, for the Orcust stuff, 2 Return, 1 Babble. I saw that the list was playing 3 of this. I don't think that 3 is the best idea, because like this is a once per turn card. I don't like playing like cards that are searchable like this that are once per turn at 3, because then it's just going to take up room in your hand, and like you want to OTK, you don't want to have the game go past your first turn, which would be the second turn of the game, because you just want to win that turn. So if you play like too many of these and now you're clogging your hand up, then it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. So I cut it down to 2. Babble doesn't really need an explanation. It's just a good card. And if you draw the Return, you can just set the Babble off of Galatea instead. And the Striker stuff, 3 Engage, 3 Widow. This is kind of standard. It's crazy that now basically Toss format is fully back. And we have 1 Shark Cannon, 1 Afterburners, and 1 Hornet Drones. I think this is probably a solid lineup. I don't think you need to really change much. So yeah, 9 striker names. That's more than enough. Then 3 Allure to draw stuff. The list that you saw before also played Upstarts. I decided to not play Upstarts because I'm blind second OTK, and I don't want to give my opponent any life points whatsoever. I want to be able to beat them in 1 turn. So yeah, I opted to just play the Allures for the draw power, and not the Upstarts. Then we have 3 Droplet, because this card's crazy in this deck. You send your Orcust names, and then you have Orcust effects engraved, which is really good, as it turns out. So yeah, Droplet is pretty nutty. And on top of that, if you already have like 2 spells engraved, but you don't have a way to, have a third, but you have Droplet and Engage, you activate Engage, chain Droplet, send the Engage, and then you do get the draw off the Engage, because there's a 3rd spell engraved by the time your search resolves. So that's really crazy. Then like I said, we're going second, so 2 thrust, 1 talents, 1 change of heart, and 1 lightning storm. Thrust can also search engage, obviously, if you need to search engage, but that's pretty good. I think so, at least. Then the other one ofs, 1 foolish, 1 Rhoda to search your Armageddon or your Greffer, and 1 called by. That way, at least you have something for hand traps. And this deck doesn't even really die that much to hand traps. Like Nib can hurt, but like, I mean, it's not the worst. But like if your opponent nibs you, then they're kind of giving up their board, which is unfortunate for them. Then like this is good for shifter. So like those are your real reasons behind playing it. But that is the main deck, 40 cards. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on over to the extra deck now so you can see all the cool stuff that we special summon. All right, so starting the extra deck off, we have 2 Galatea. This is kind of standard. I feel like 2 Galatea has been the norm ever since like 2019. I don't think it's really changed that much. I think the card at 2 is fine. And then we play the 1 Longursu. Out of all the testing that I've done so far, I have not made this card once. Doesn't mean that it doesn't come up, but I just haven't personally made it myself. Card's still good though. Like I don't have too much to say about it. It does what it does. It's just not like the best card for me anyways. Then the 1 Kagari and the 1 Azalea. The Kagari I've made a decent amount, obviously, but the Azalea I have yet to make this card in all my testing, but I mean, card is still a good card. So yeah, you gotta play it. Then 1 Barricade Board Blocker. Also haven't made this, but it is situational where it's like, okay, I have 2 monsters and I have to get an Orcust card or a wand out of my hand or something. So card's like good, it's just that I haven't personally had to make it yet. 1 IP and 1 SP. The SP, like neither of these cards have come up for me, but the idea that you have something else to use when you're going, if your opponent makes you go first, is important. Not to say that you can't use SP going second, but I feel like this stuff is just so much better if you end on this going first and you make this on your opponent's turn. Because like if you banish a card on your turn and you're going second, then you're not OTKing, and that's just not it. Then I play 1 Dark and 1 Hida. The Hida is gonna come up with your Kagari, but I don't know. I feel like I've made Dark just so much more to link climb a little bit and put like Orcust names engraved. That way I could continue comboing. But Hida is obviously good, being that we're in a fire meta, so can't really argue that. Then 1 Nightmare Unicorn and 1 Boral Sword. The list before that I had posted was playing Boros, which is like a really good card. But like I said, I'm trying to OTK, and like Boral Sword does that really easily. So yeah, I had to go with this. And then Unicorn is obviously just spot removal. It's been played in Orcust forever, so yeah, gotta play it. Then 2 Dingirsu and 1 Sky Crisis for the XYZs. These are pretty good. I don't really have much else to say about them. Yeah, simple cards. But that is the extra deck. We're gonna go ahead on to the side deck now so you can see what our games 2 and 3 look like. All right, so side deck time. As you can see, starting off 3 Cosmic Cyclone for anything that has to be removed. In addition to that, we are playing the 2nd Lightning Storm and 1 Feather Duster. It outs back row, which is obviously important. Granted, this deck can play through a lot. You do want to be able to kind of play through more. So nothing wrong with some back row removal. Then I play a 2nd Shark Cannon. I feel like this card like never ever gets enough credit. And we're in a format where the graveyard is important, so like if you can get rid of stuff in your opponent's graveyard, you should probably do it, and Shark Cannon is one of the best ways because it's searchable. The card's really, really good. Then the last spells, I played 2 Dark Ruler. I didn't want to go with 3 because it is searchable off Thrust, so like if my opponent chains one thing, I could at least Thrust, grab the Dark Ruler, and then shut their board off, and still be able to play the game. So I can't OTK, but at least I could clear their board and get a full setup going. So yeah, Dark Ruler is pretty good. Yeah, this card's actually just nice, just really, really nice. But then the cards for going first, because we know that our opponent is going to probably make us go first for well, at least part of the tournaments that we play in. So we have 3 copies of Threatening Roar, so we won't be able to get OTK'd. We have 3 copies of Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. Once again, won't be able to get OTK'd. And then the 1 Orcust Crescendo to counter something. So I think that this is really, really good. Obviously, these are just crazy cards. Like your opponent is gonna struggle most of the time when you have these cards up. And then Crescendo's, you know, obviously just Crescendo. I don't think there's much else to say about it, but like, I think that this is a really solid lineup for if you are forced to go first. There isn't like many other cards that you like could toss in and play, because like Threatening is great with Tenpai being a deck, because now their turn just kind of ends. It comes back to you, and like you're gonna go ahead and pop off and OTK them. So even if they make you go first, it's like, okay, sure, like I don't care, go ahead, make me go first. Like watch if it matters. Like it doesn't, because now I set Threatening Roar, which you can get to really easily in this deck because you have so much draw power. You just side out some of your going second cards, and you put in your cards going first if you think your opponent's gonna make you go first. So yeah, that's the side deck. I think it's pretty solid. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And for right now, this is Drew, Traveler of the Burning Abyss, signing out.